everybody. So we are going through our self-paced Bible study of Matthew, and we are in chapter 6. We're going to be going through verses 16 through 24, section on fasting. Jesus is teaching about fasting and laying up treasures in heaven. And the first part of this chapter was about giving to the needy and the Lord's Prayer. And the theme so far has been that your posture and motivation matters. That this should be, Jesus is looking at your heart, and that our hearts should strive to be living in God's order and for the right reasons. We're supposed to be motivated by glorifying God, not by outward appearances or validation from people around us. And so fasting, this is an interesting section. And when you fast, do not look gloomy like the hypocrites, for they disfigure their faces that their fasting may be seen by others. So hypocrites, that comes from a word that means actor, like a faker, an actor. Truly I say to you, they have received their reward. But when you fast, anoint your head and wash your face, that your fasting may not be seen by others, but by your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you. So, similar to the other sections, don't look gloomy and make a show. Don't make it about yourself. Present yourself well. Try to keep it between you and God. If it's a personal thing, then it should be a personal thing between you and God. Do things for the glory of God, not to glorify yourself. This is a funny section because I actually, before this, I will have done a video about a fast that I did, and I didn't release it while I was doing the fast because I didn't want to make a big deal out of it. I didn't know what that would look like. However, I do encourage people that if they feel compelled to do a fast. I've done a 7-day fast and a 6-day fast, and I would have done a 7-day fast, but my kid's birthday party was in there, and I didn't want to not eat at his birthday party. It would have been weird, and then we would have had too much pizza left over if I didn't eat. So, but anyways, it is an interesting thing to fast, and I highly recommend if you can. There are a couple resources I use. This is like a little aside. I go into it more in the video, I think, but I use Key Nutrients electrolyte drink, or just find a zero sugar electrolyte drink to use. Your electrolytes running low are one of the most dangerous things about a fast, and trust me, it will not satiate your hunger or anything like that, but it will help keep you healthy and safe while you do this. And I haven't looked too much into any regulations around fasting or anything like that. There are some regulations in the Jewish tradition that you don't fast on the Sabbath. That was something that I didn't pay attention to. I actually fasted for the entire 7 days, and it's difficult. I would like to work up to a 40-day fast for obvious reasons. But the other thing is Dr. Jason Fung has a book called The Complete Guide to Fasting, and I highly recommend that anybody looking into it read that book because it's got tons of information. But it will help you do it in a healthy, safe way, and it will help you integrate this idea of fasting into your life on a consistent basis if that's something that you're interested in. I think it's a great spiritual practice. I think it's one of the greatest spiritual practices that has gone by the wayside. And so anyways, take that for what it's worth. But I do encourage it. In this section, obviously do it for the right reasons, right? So that's all I'll say about the fasting. So, laying up treasures in heavens, verses 19 through 24. Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. The eye is the lamp of the body. So if your eye is healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light in you is darkness, how great is the darkness? No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and money. So, laying up treasures in heaven, earthly things will be destroyed by earthly causes or taken from you, but heavenly things are not destroyed or taken from you. That there are more important things than physical items and desires that we run into in this life. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So if your treasure is money, your heart will be devoted to that. A lot of times people use this negatively. It's hard to have a good relationship with money. We have to have a good relationship with money. Money is a great servant and a terrible master. So when you are using God as the standard, glorifying God is the intent here. There's a lot of gray area when it comes to things like money, taking care of your family versus how much you give away versus, these are all things that Christians deal with, right? And so you just want to make sure that you're not serving money or things that you buy with money. The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eye is healthy, you will be full of light. This is fantastic because the eye is this symbol of, and light is a symbol. So the eye, if you have a healthy eye, you're seeing light, and light stands for all the good of God's created order, the good of the world, the good God created. All of these things, your meaning and purpose, wisdom, right? This discernment about how to use money, how to live your life. And how do you make your eyes healthy? You focus on the right things, right? If you focus on, and I think this ties into reading your Bible, doing Bible study. Why is it so important? It's because it's calibrating your eye to see the good, to see the right order. And whether we understand fully or not, when we read the Bible, it's still being absorbed into us and it's helping shape our view of the world. And I think that's incredibly important. If your eye's bad, you can't take in the light. You can't see the good. And in fact, the thing that drives me nuts when I talk with people about the Bible and Christianity, especially non-believers, is it's almost like arguing with a middle schooler who's just being contrary, being a smart butt. Because there are some concepts that they refuse to see and others that they just reject. But you can tell sometimes that it's genuinely that they just cannot grasp the assumption or the worldview or how to view something from the biblical view. They just don't get it. It's not natural. So I thought that was a really interesting section. No one can serve two masters. It doesn't matter what the other master is. You cannot serve money and God. You cannot serve your sexual appetites and God. You cannot make an idol of your family, right? You can't make an idol of your worry and anxiety. You can't put these things centrally in your life. Anxiety is a huge one. There's a whole section next about anxiety. I can't wait to get into that. Maybe I'll just cut this short, but it's important to keep God at the top of the hierarchy. It's important to keep God in his place at the top. And as we saw in the Lord's Prayer in the section before this, there's a whole thing. You posture yourself and you recognize that God is in that supreme spot, and that postures your life. It orients your life properly. And here it's saying, remember, the things of this earth, we're sojourners, we're exiles here. These things are not as long lasting as you think. And they might be nice now, but they're going to bring you no comfort in eternity. So I think that's an important point. So with that, we'll jump into the do not be anxious section next. But let me know what you thought about this section. If there's something about this that I missed or that stands out to you, I'd love to hear about it. Like and subscribe, and please comment on these videos if you're watching the whole things, because it's very important that you study the Bible in community. That is where the magic happens. And that's why I started this. I'm trying to find other like-minded people that want to talk about what they're, studying in the Bible. So there's that. And with that, I'm catching the next one. All right, peace.